Hello again. I thought we'd look at some Lima wagons I've upgraded. Some of the ones you saw that I bought on the unboxing the other day. To give you an idea how you can bring, quote unquote cheap models to life. Now, the beauty of Lima, apart from the fact that these old ones, you can pick them up quite cheaply online, is they're very robust. You have something that can handle a lot of abuse, and you don't have to worry about many parts breaking off like you do with modern wagons. So they're worth keeping for that purpose, and they're also great for upgrading without having to worry that you might damage it, that you spent a lot of money, and also weathering. Now here we have a standard UIC side door wagon, very common all over Europe, and that you saw this the other day in the unboxing video. What I did here was I used interactive markers by AK, paint markers, and I highlighted the edges, like the bars going down, and various points like the hinges and so on. I painted the top level a lighter colour to make it stand out, and then gave it some washes with, again, AK interactive washes, and also panel liner, Tamiya sepia coloured panel liner, just to bring out the details. Another thing I do with these models is, because they can be kind of delicate, I do things like, you see that, I don't know if it's a brake wheel or a discharge wheel on the side, but I drop some crazy super glue behind that just to keep it secure so it doesn't fall off. Anything like a buffer that's pushed in to stop it from falling off at some point, that's what I'll do. So interior, instead of painting the inside, well, I did paint the sidewalls, I put in this planking effect. Now how I got this was, I created that in ChatGPT and printed it out on photographic paper at the 1 hour Photoshop, and it's a great way of making specialized paper. So I think it looks fantastic in there for the bottom. I'm very happy with that. Now the other wagon, the next one, now this was kit bashed from the SNCF bogie wagon to give me a Deutsche Reichsbahn Dresden box fan that were very common between the wars. That's all I did. I took again a step off the bottom, and you can see it comes out to quite a plausible model of the Dresden van. Just again, any kind of lettering that was counterproductive, like I think the SNCF or Norwegian, some of them have Norwegian state railways on them, just painted that out and left the data, and from the 3-foot rule it looks the business. The ubiquitous Interfrigo European refrigerator wagon. I used white painted markers to give it a bit more rough and ready look. I also painted the underframes with intermarkers as well and washed them. And the roof, some staining, and then finished it off with some dry brushing to give it a bit of life. And I couldn't ascertain if this was a real van. I tried every source. This is the one that had STEF on it, and I don't think it was a real, in this particular standard van. So what I did was I used white paint. I used white paint to hide the staff letters, and then masked out the data and left the data where it was. I took off this step that all Lima wagons seem to have on the bottom, a big plastic molded on one. You can see I also took it off with the Yugoslavian ferry van, and the next van you'll see after this. And on this one I replaced with a step coming down beneath the door. Panel liner really brought this part out, the door out, and brought it to life. And I'm very happy with that. Roof grey, body white, underframe, rusted brown, muddy brown mix of markers and panel liners. And the final one, Yugoslavian ferry van that my friend Colin suggested doing up. So again, I removed the big heavy black step on the bottom that you get a lot on a lot of these models, and the rest is like arbitrary. Like I said on the others, highlighting with AKM interactive markers the steel parts and make them look rusted. And so it just goes to show you what you can do with these Lima models, that they're a bit of creativity, a bit of weathering. You can have some fine looking models indeed. Okay, take care.